You give a virgin 12 months to prepare for the wedding from the moment the husband asks her to get married. When he proposes to get married, right? Meaning you give her 12 months. Meaning this is from the Kedushin. He marries her, so the hiatus is 12 months. He does his preparations during this period of time. A woman's a widow because she already prepared. She has many things from the previous marriage, so therefore she needs less time to prepare. So let's say the date came, and they didn't get married. He has to start supporting her, and if she's married to a Kohen, she eats truma. Reb Tarfon Omer nosla kol truma. Reb Tarfon says the food could be truma. It's cheap, right? Because it's a limited market. So he gives her all truma. Reb Kiva Omer merza chulin merza truma. 50% chulin, because Rashi says, and you'll see the Gemara, because what does she have to do? If she gets all truma, but she's contaminated. She has to sell it. So it's a tremendous burden on her. Reb Tarfon doesn't make a difference. Reb Kiva says no, 50% chulin when she's tamei, and truma is when she's not tamei. Hayov made a machlu truma. Let's see, there was a yavam. She was widowed, right? And the yavam is a kohen. She doesn't eat. She has to be the wife. Also, shish chadash mnei haibal v'shish chadash mnei yavam. Let's say they're waiting 6 months. The husband dies in 6 months. Fil kulm b'fnei habal chosi yom echad b'fnei yavam. 364 days, the husband died, didn't make it the 365th day. She doesn't eat, because it's only after the year is up. There was their year. Zu Mishnah Yishona, but originally, according to the original Mishnah, the original halacha, if she was married to a Kohen 12 months, even though they weren't fully married, she ate truma afterwards. Bezin Shalachrei, but the latter Bezin ruled, Amru, one second. Amru, what did they say? And when does she truma? When she goes into the chuppah, when she's fully married. But she's not. The Gemara is going to give off in 2 reasons. Why? Menahani Mili. How do we know that you give it? What's the basis you give a woman 12 months preparation from the time that she's betrothed till she's fully married? Amar Rav Chizda Domakra Vayoma Achio Vayimo. This by Rivka. This is what they said to Eliezer. Teshav Anari Imanu Yomim Oser. Let the maiden remain with us days or 10. What does this mean? So more what does days mean? My yomi, ilem betrei yomi. Does it mean let us stay 2 days or 10 days? Somewhere says, Mishtoy yinish hochi. Do we find a person who talks this way? Omrulei trei yomi. They said to Eliezer, we'd like her to stay for 2 days. Omrulei lo. So he says, no. It's either now or forget it. So what did he say to Omrulo? Sorry, Yomi. You know, if that's let us stay 10 days. If you got turned down in 2 days, why is the next request 10? So evidently, Yom doesn't mean days, but it means a year. Elo my Yom Shona. They said, let us stay a year. So he said, not a year, let us stay 10 months. The Chsiv, where do we find Yomim means year, a year? The Chsiv Yomim Tia Gulaso. It's only during the first year could you redeem the house that was consecrated, right, within a walled city. After that, it's gone. Ma'viko, someone asks, maybe Yom means a month. How do we know Yom? Because there's another pasuk. The Chsiv at Chodesh Yomim says they ate the slav at Chodesh Yomim. So you see, Yomim is Chodesh. Amri don in Yomim stam Yom stam. We associate where it says Yomim without any other word from days where it says Yomim. Vein don in Yomim stam Yomim shenemba ben Chodesh. By the quail, by the slav, it says Chodesh Yomim. Here it says just Yomim, by Eliezer's Yomim, and it says regarding redeeming the house within the walled city, just as Yomim, not associated with the word Chodesh. You following, Albert? I know you lost, I saw that. Again, Yomim. How do we know Yomim means a year? No, the pasuk where it says At Chodesh Yomim, it says they ate the quail. It's that they ate it for 30 days. So the Moraz, you see, Yomim means Chodesh, means 30 days. Right, we're saying the basis is because what by Eliezer, they said Yomim. They said a year or 10 months. Maybe it means no. Maybe Yomim means 30 days, and 10 means 10 days. So we said, because it says by the quail, it says At Chodesh Yomim. So the Gemara says if I have a choice to associate the word Yomim with another location Yom, where it just says the word Yomim, not any other word, or where it says Yomim accompanied the word Chodesh, you associate with where it's identical. It says Yomim from Yomim, and now where it says Yomim, where it's associated with Chodesh. We're on 57b. The pasuk got Chodesh Yomim. That pasuk is written by the quail. After, right, next line. Where it says maybe it means a Chodesh, a month, Nichsiv. Right, I'm just saying that pasuk is written by the quail. Not, the Gemara doesn't mention quail. I'm telling you, that's where it's written. It means they ate, it says they ate this quail for a month, and they died from it. Omer Bzero, Tanan, we learned in the Brisa. Ketano, a minor. Bain he, bain ovi, cholakiv. Let's say there's Kedushin, and he says, I want to get married in a year. But she's still a minor. So what? She refuses, she has a right to refuse. The father, she says yes, he has a right to refuse. You'll only marry her when she becomes an adult. He has a right to say that. So we understand she says she's not ready. If she's emotionally not married, ready to get married, of course she could delay it until she becomes an adult. Elavia, but her father, but if she's ready, she's agreeable. Avia my nafka lemina. What relevance? What do we pay attention to the father? What relevance does it have to him? Why? Sovar. Hashla Yodu. The father says, look, she doesn't know what marriage means. Lamocher Mimrdo Vinavka. Tomorrow she's going to defy him. He's going to throw. She's not going to be able to tolerate the relationship. No, not divorce. Vasya Nafalui. So she's going to fall back into his lap. So he wants to preempt it. Okay. So therefore we say the father can. Omer Reb Abba Bar Levi, a posken al Ketano, lo siok shiktano. You don't decide, you don't set a wedding date when she's a minor. Av a posken al Ketano, lo siok shikdo. Let's say she's 10 years old. So, wedding is set for 2.5 years from now. So you're setting the date when she's a minor for when she's going to be an adult. Okay? That you could do. Versus Pshita, why not? A minor, we understand not. Because a minor, there are issues. But we're setting it for time when she's married now. For when she's an adult. So why can't we set it when she's an adult? Because, something, the strain, the emotional, mental strain of the minor knowing 2.5 years she's going to be locked in to a full relationship, maybe too much of her to handle now. So maybe you don't talk about it. You don't set any dates into the future at this time. Kamash Malon, we're not worried about that. What will affect her if she gets married as a minor, fully married? But to set the date as a minor for when she's an adult, it's not a problem. That you do. Albert, you with me? Okay. Rav Huna says, Bogri Yom Echad. She passes her 12 and a half, she's 12 and a half, fully mature woman, Viniskacha, and she became Hudeshes. Viniskacha. And we're talking Kedushin. Nosla Shloshim Yom Kalmana. We only give her 30 days of preparation. Why? Because we say that since she's nearing her being fully mature, she already was preparing, so everything basically is prepared. She only needs another 30 days. So we treat her like a widow. As a widow, you only give 30 days. A woman who's a Bulgaris, and then she's already, because, she's waiting for that moment. Meisvei, Bogro, we learned in the Brisa, Bogro, if she became fully mature, Harei Ketur. She's like a woman where you set the date. Ketur. My love, Ketur, the Psula, seeming like a Psula who was asked to get married, so we say 12 months, Ketur Dalmona. Like an Almona who was asked to get married. So we only give it 30 days. Toshma. Bulgaria Sheshosa, now Bulgaria Sheshosa Shneimosa Chodesh. A Bulgaris who waited 12 months. So what does that mean? So you see clearly a Bulgaris gets 12 months. Since the husband fully supports her after 12 months, this is the Bulgaris. Yofir, he doesn't annul her vows jointly with the father any longer, although the chup hasn't yet taken place. And he could, so you see clearly over here, a Bulgaris after 12 months, right? When does the husband have an obligation to fully support her? Only after 12 months, not after 30 days. But according to Rav Huna, it should be after 30 days. On that, the Gemara says you have to change the way the Brisa reads. Ema Bulgaris Vishish a Bulgaris is 30 days, and a woman who waited a year and he didn't marry her, the husband, since he's supporting her, he could nullify her vows independent of the father. Okay? After the year. So the Gemara says in the Durham, the reason is because since she's being fully supported from him, so when she made the netter initially, it was based on his being agreeable, not agreeable. Okay? Reb Lezer Omer Hol Bailo Chayiv Mizona. Say Yofer. Since the husband's obligated to support her, therefore he has the right to nullify in the Dorim. Toshma Hamaaris is Absula. Okay, a person's Ma'aris Absula. Bein Shetova Bal, whether the husband asked her to get married. Vima Keves, and she turns him down. Bein Shetovi, she wanted to get married. Ubal Makev. Right? And he says, I'm not interested. He says, I need more time. Nosen lo 12 chodesh mishas tviya. 12 months. He says, I'm not ready. 12 months come, he has to start footing the bill. The husband has to start footing the bill to support her. Avo lo mishas ersin. It's not from when they got married, when they ersin, but when? From Tova. Ubogro, and the Bulgaris are kitfua. And a woman who's a Bulgaris, she's like a woman who was asked to get married. Keitza, what does that mean? Bogri omechod. She passed her 12 and a half birthday, right? She's one day past 12 and a half months, 12 years, 6 months, and 1 day. V'niskacho. And there was kedushin. It says explicit. Nosen lo 12 chodesh. You give her 12 months. So this is explicit. Ularusa shloshim yom. And arusa, which you give 30. So to you have to drafuna, to you have to refuted. So we see here clearly that a woman who's fully mature is given 12 months. Rafuna said that a Bulgaria, she give 30 days. Here it says explicitly, you give her a full year. So tiyufta, the Rafuna tiyufta. What does it mean? Ularusa shloshim yom. Bryce says, and an arusa, what do you mean give arusa 30 days? We had earlier arusa you give 12 months, right? Meaning, if she already was a year, it means she's 13 and a half now. A woman becomes Bulgarian at the age of 12 and a half. Now a year passed. She's already 13. Now, when she becomes Narusa, you give her only 30 days. Why? Because as a fully mature woman, whether she had the husband or not, she's already preparing for marriage. So she already had a year preparation. So just as an almana, you only, regardless, you give 30. You give her also 30 days. Year. Why? No, very simple. A woman who's a naro, in those days, a woman was 12 and a half. That means you're desperate to get married. I mean, the first opportunity comes, you want to get married as soon as possible. That was the mindset in those days. As a result of that, if a woman, let's say, is 12 and a half, now she's 13 and a half. What was on her mind every moment when she became fully mature? Now she's on her own. She's preparing. No, she's already preparing for that eventual day which takes place. How many months do you need preparation? 12 months. She's prepared. She had a full 12 months. Now she's betrothed. So she's betrothed. How much do you give a woman after being betrothed? Minimal, 30 days. She's no worse than a widow. You give her 30 days. Although she already prepared for the first marriage. But you give her another 30 days. So also you give her another 30 days. That's the rationale. Okay? No slash shloshim kamona. Okay, now he gives mavalo nisu. The date comes, 12 months comes from the time he has to get married. Lo nisu, they didn't get married, right? Omerul dvar Torah rusa bas Yisrael ocheles b'truma. When a woman is not rusa, you hear this? If she marries a kohen, she's permitted to eat truma on a Torah level. How do you know that? Shenemar, the kohen ki yikne nefesh kinyan kaspo. If a kohen acquires a person, and it's a kinyan kesef, it's an acquisition through money. Okay? By nami kinyan kaspo, who marrying a woman, you give her money, you become his wife. That's our classification, kinyan kaspo. So that's why. So why did the Mishnah Achrona say that a wife of a kohen cannot eat truma until she's fully married? Matam omru eno cheles. Concerned that since she's still in her parents' household and they're not kohanim, she'll share the truma with her brother, her father, and it's a problem. Somebody asks a question. So why is that? It says according to Mishnah Rishona, we said if a year came, he began feeding her truma. Mishnah Rishona. But so we said, why wait a year? Immediately you should be. So he said you're concerned. So as you're concerned initially, you should be concerned in 12 months. The same concern? Right? Good question. Albert. Okay? Once 12 months, he has to assume responsibility. He has to rent an apartment for her. So she's moving out of father's house. So when she has the truma, it's in another domain. It's another premises. Let's say you have a Kohen hired out to to a regular Yisrael. He should need truma, because since he's living in the dormitory of the Balabayas, let's say he's a butler, so he has his truma with him. So if he has truma with him, let's be concerned. As he eats truma, he may give some of the truma to his employer, right, or to their family. They may end up eating together with him. Mar says, I mean, part of the wage is he doesn't bring his truma along with him. He doesn't have to eat his own food. They provide it. So they're giving him. So the truma has, you think he's going to share with his employer? A woman will share with her father, with her brothers. Here, you're supposed to feed me. Why I should feed you? You're supposed to feed me. Some employers think you're supposed to feed them. When they feel they're paying you too much, they say, you know something? We're not making enough profit. These are the guys down by you in Florida, right? Okay. Exactly. Rav Shmuel Bar Yehuda Omar, no. The reason why, according to Mr. Shora, what's the reason why you don't need Shum immediately, only after 12 months? Mishum Simpun. Simpun means he may find a defect in her. So if he finds a defect, what happens? Comes out the marriage retroactively was mistake. So she wasn't the wife of a Kohen and she was eating Truma. So what about, let's say she went into the chuppah, but he didn't consummate the marriage yet. So he didn't see her physically. So maybe he would have noticed the defect, but we say, once she's nichlas chuppah, there's not a question, she definitely eats Truma. On that was Hasam Mivdik Bodiklo. A man, if he's ready to go to chuppah, he has her checked out by his family, before the chuppah. So therefore, if he didn't hear any negative facts about her, there's no concern. El Miato Eved Kohen Shalochum Yisrael Lulechel B'Truma. Yeah, an Eved Kohen. One second. Slow. Eved Kohen Shalochum Yisrael. A Kohen goes and buys a slave from another master. Two Jewish masters, and they buy a slave. Eved Kanani. Eved Kanani eats truma, correct? Yeah. As we said, Kinyanah Kaspo. Right. So when he was owned by the non-Kohen master, he couldn't eat truma. Now when he's purchased by the Kohen, he can. But let's be concerned. What happens if he has some kind of defect? Right. So the sale may not be a valid sale. So he's still considered the slave of who? Of the first master. Right. So how does the Kohen permit it to feed him? There may be a problem. But the moment he purchases him, he's allowed to. Let's be concerned. It may be a faulty sale. Lo leichel b'truma mishum simple be'avodim lek. There's no such thing. Why? If it's some kind of defect outside the body, meaning let's say a facial scar, or he sees he's missing fingers, you see it. Yeah. He doesn't have an arm. You see he doesn't have an arm. Vid gavoy lemlocha kaboy. And what about if it's something, it's covered, let's say it's under a shirt. He's hiring for work, it's not to be a model, without a shirt on. Right. Correct? Therefore, if it's in, what does he care? It's irrelevant to him. What about Nimtza Ganav of Kufyustus? Right? What about he's found to be, Rashi says he's a kidnapper or he's a thief? Right? Higio. It's still considered valid. Why? Michael, what are you concerned? List of Mizuyan. He's an armed bandit. You don't know he's an armed bandit. He held the banks, this guy. He held the banks. Or Mukhtar the Malchus. Or maybe they have a wanted poster. The government wants to kill him. Send him away to Alcatraz. Right? Hani Kol Islu. Yeah? Fact is, the word is out on him. There's no way that it's not you hire this person. People know there's enough public knowledge. So if you bought him despite that, it's not a mekachtos. So therefore you feed him the truma. Right? Rashiv Zechariah once told me a story. This is Alman Meltzer. was the father-in-law of Rabbi Aaron Kotler. So he married, there was a famous woman, her name was, she was known as Almona Frank, the widow Frank. Her husband was a very special, very wealthy man. And she married, her husband passed away, a young person. She married off all her daughters to Rosh Yeshivas. Rabbi Zalman Meltzer, Rabbi Moshe Mordechai Epstein was Rosh Yeshiva Slobodka. All her sons-in-law were special. So Rabbi Zalman Meltzer had tuberculosis. Tuberculosis wasn't simple, and it wasn't something uncommon that people had tuberculosis. So there was a question, and they were engaged already. So there was a question, what should they do? Should they go through with the marriage or not? So they went to Reb Chaim Brisker, Reb Chaim Soloveitchik, and they asked him, and he says, or maybe they also went to the Chofetz Chaim, he says, he's going to have a Riches Yomi. You don't have to worry. In fact, actually, he lived into his 90s with everything else. So he came to Warsaw. In those years, Warsaw had the professors, doctors. And wherever he had x-rays, he came to the train station in Warsaw, and he had his x-rays, and he was going to show it to the doctors in Warsaw, the professors. He puts his bags down, and the moment he turns around, his bags had disappeared. With the x-rays, there's a problem. Right? It's more important than his bags. The x-rays were in the bags, and he came specially to show the x-rays to the doctor. To take an x-ray in those days wasn't so simple. We're talking this is the early part of the 20th century. And it was known that the thieves in Warsaw, the gangsters, were all Jews. So he went to speak to the chief rabbi of what's his name. He says, we'll work it out. I'll get you an appointment with the chief gangster. Rabbi Zalman, so he goes, he gets the address, goes there, knocks on, they let him in, comes in, he looks at the head of the table, the chief gangster is sitting with Talmud and Tefillin, davening, and he's in the middle of Kriyishma, he doesn't speak, he's not going to interrupt his Kriyishma, to speak to Rabbi Zalman Meltzer. Yeah, this is the gangster. And what happens? Finishes davening, he says, yes, what would you like? This and that. So he tells him, within 5 minutes his bags were back, with the x-rays and everything. Okay, so you buy a slave, this and that. Maybe he's a gangster. Maybe he's a kidnapper. Maybe he's a fugitive. Okay. It's okay. You know about it. You know about it. Okay. You bought him in. It's not a question of maybe not a valid sale. Okay. This is what we call, this is a Litvish Shemaisa. This is not a Hasidic Shemaisa. Okay. Michti. Now the Gemara says, Bein lamar, bein lamar. Whatever the reason why we say a person, unless you're fully married, we don't allow them to eat truma right away. Correct? Because we're concerned that she made it to feed it to her family, or it may be a defect, she may have a physical defect, and therefore it may turn out the marriage is not a marriage. Lo ochel might be now, but in either case, if she's not to eat, what's the halachic difference? Whether the reason's A or the reason's B? If each one's offering another reason, evidently there must be a halachic difference if the reason's one reason or another reason. My beinayu, what is the difference? Kibel mosav v'holach. Here? Kibel, he accepted regardless of what it is, he accepted upon himself. So therefore it's not, he says, regardless whether her problems, I accept it, I'm marrying her. So then what? You should be able to feed her truma, correct? Right. But what about she may share it with her family? That's a problem. What about Mosa? What have we had earlier? Let's say you gave the woman over to the agents of the husband. So again, there's no problem. She made it feed it to her family. But Mekachtos is a problem. Right? V'holach. What's the case? So Holach, he went. There you go. Yeah, Mosa Holach. You read it together. He gave her over and they went. So therefore she's on her way to the husband's house. Simple and there's a problem, correct? That she may have a defect in the marriage, it's not a marriage. Right. But sharing with her family is not a problem because she's on her way to what? To her husband's house. Reb Tafin no sla kol truma. Reb Nachman says that when you feed a truma, all truma, not 50% chumah. And what? She's tameo, she'll have to go sell it. Omer Abaye machlokes bas kohen lekohen. The argument Reb Tarfon and Rabbi Kiva is where it's a bas kohen marries a kohen. Now let's talk. Why? Because if a bas kohen, no. When she's tameo, what is she going to do with it? The answer is she has a family. The family will help her out. Because what do they do when they tell me? They sell it. Aval bas Yisrael lekohen. But if it's a bas Yisrael where she's not involved in this kind, family's not involved, nobody's to help her to sell it. Divrei Akol, even Reb Tarfon agrees Mechza chulin, mechza truma. He has to give 50% chulin. For that's the time when she's contaminated. 50% truma. The argument is if she's not rusa and the 12 months passed. Yeah? So then the question is, do you give all truma or aval bin nesua? But if she's fully married, mechza chul mechza, you can't mistreat a wife. Right? The other thing is, because it was delayed the marriage, so the question is, you let him get away with certain things. But she's already your full wife. How do you give her all truma? She's going to be busy with this. Tanya Nami Hochi, we have bright supporters. Reb Tafanom, Nosla Kol Truma. Reb Kiva Omer, Merchel Chol Merchel Truma. Medvar Mamurim. When does Reb Tarfon and Reb Kiva argue? The Bas Kohen LeKohen, where it's a Bas Kohen marrying a Kohen. Aval Bas Yisrael LeKohen Divrei HaKol, but if it's a Bas Yisrael marrying a Kohen, Divrei HaKol Merchel Chol Merchel Truma. Medvar Mamurim, Barusa. When do they argue even a Bas Kohen to a Kohen? That's only if she's not fully married. Aval b'nesua, but if she's fully married, divrei hakol, they all concur. Mertzah chul mertzah truma.
What about the Cohen who is nothing to do with the marriage? Okay, and everybody's giving him their truma, so he's got a house full of truma.
He has too much.
He's got to.
Yes, so good. He sells it off.
You got to sell some for when she's in the
Look, the man makes money also. I mean, let's say the guy has an investment. What he can purchase through. He has money.
No, I'm saying he really lives on the truma that he's given, so he's got to sell it.
That's all. Sell it.
So
Look, he gets other things. What about the other gifts? He gets Zrochaim Vakev. He gets the four leg.
Right.
See, what does he do with all that meat? He sells it off. He has many things to sell. Right?
So he's used to selling. Just that the Rusa, you don't want her to have.
Yeah, you can't burden them with this.
But the whole family is selling off this stuff. She's
So
grown up.
good. So they'll sell it. They'll sell this off too for her. That's what Tarfon says.
Right.
Therefore, you're not really burdening her.
No.
But what about she's not with the family anymore? She moved into the husband's house. So that's why everybody agrees. You give 50% chulin, 50% truma. Rabbi,
You don't want her out in the market.
right? Rabbi Yudo ben Beseiro, we have a third opinion. Nosla shtei yodos shel truma, bach shel chulin. Right? The argument of Tarfon and Rekiva is either all truma or 50-50. He says no, 2/3 truma, 1/3 chulin to cover the time when she's contaminated. Depends how long she's contaminated. Let's say after she gives birth, if she's contaminated for a while. Gives birth to a female, she's contaminated for 66 days. Howard, 66 days. Right? Okay. 100%. She eats for 2 people now. Right? Reb Yehuda Omer nosin lahakol truma. You hear this? Reb Yehuda says no. You give everything truma. V'mocheres lokechs b'dam chulin, which seems to be the same position as who? As Reb Tarfon. Reb Shimon Gamliel Lama Kol Mokshu Huskra Truma, wherever it meant Truma, Nosla Kiflaim Truma B'chulin. You give it twice as much chulin as Truma. My B'nei Benayu Tircha. What are they arguing? To what degree does she have to inconvenience herself to sell off the Truma? Not. To what degree do we burden them with this? 1 second. He explains, Rashi, difference between Rabbi Yehuda says that you give her truma, and she sells it off now. What's the difference? He says something. Rabbi Tarfon says, you give her the amount. Let's talk about the amounts. You give her truma, let's say she would not be tameya. So let's say she needs 3 meals a day, 2 meals a day. So you give enough truma to. But you realize, but now when she sells it off for chulin, she's not going to have enough for 2 meals a day. Because the value, she's going to have less value. Exactly. So therefore, factually, she's going to fall short of what she needs. Dafra says that's not the husband's concern. It's not the husband's concern. He's not fully married to her. Rabbi Yehuda says no. He has to give her enough truma that when she sells it off for chulin, there should be adequate chulin for her. That's the argument. Okay, good. Further, Hayov mean a machil b'truma. Let's say she falls. Her husband dies childless. She's by the yavam. So her husband was a kohen. The Yavam's a Kohen, correct? She cannot eat Truma on behalf of the Yavam. Of course, he's not her husband. My time, Kini Kaspom Rachmana, by Kin Dochifu. Yeah, this? He's Kinyan the Ochif. She is what she was acquired by his brother, not by him. You see something interesting, very interesting. You know, in Yevomis we learned there's a term Zika. Remember the term Zika. Why can't she marry until she's released with Chalitza? Because there's a connection between the widow and the surviving brother. Right? That's why she's not permitted to remarry. Right? Until either Yibum or Chalitza. Now, that lingers on. So you'd say, you know something? So let her continue eating because of what lingers on. Right? You need Kinyan Kaspo. The husband's no longer alive. So even though the surviving brother is going to take over that when he takes it over, then she becomes a full wife. Meaning the entry is because there's something left from the previous brother. But so it's Kinyan, but it's not Kaspo. That's what the Gemara says. It's Kinyan Ochiv, right? What does he say? It's Kinyan Ochiv. It's the acquisition of his brother. So let her eat for the brother's not alive. Right? The husband has to be alive to eat. So she is a Kinyan Kesef. Of who? Not of the Yavam. It's called Kinyan Ochiv. It's the acquisition of his brother. That's what you see from here, from the Gemara. It says, you give it 12 months. 6 months, the husband was alive. He never made it to the finish line. You got it? Never made it to the finish line, Howard. Okay? So the Yavam comes in. Says, Hashbnei Abal, Amrit Lo, Fnei Yavam Boy. Right? We say it was 365 4 days. We say he can't eat. She doesn't eat. So now 50 and 50. Or the majority she's going to eat. Zuvein Tzarch Lama Zukta. Something not only, right? Sometimes it's a way of just presenting something. The husband, of course, and it's understood the Yavam not. The husband, even though the majority of the time was beat by the husband, she doesn't, so it's understood. The Yavam definitely not. Zu Mishnah Rishona. The Mishnah Rishona says what? After a year, if he didn't marry her, she starts eating Truma. Correct? Mm-hmm. Then they stopped it. My timer, Amuli, Tamer Shmuel Bar Yehuda Mishum Simple. This is going through what we said before. That we quoted. Goes from a concern that if he finds a defect, it comes out retroactively, the marriage was not a marriage, she never had a right to eat. Smart says like this. Bishloma, Lu'ulo, Kamaisu Shemi Yimzugulo, Kos, Besavio. Initially, Mishnah Rishona says, what does the Mishnah Rishona say? Originally, after 12 months, she was permitted to eat. But immediately not. Right? Immediately not. Even though on Torah level, yes. Because what was the concern? She may share it with her family. Because she's still in the household of her father. So, but after 6 months, where he rented a residence for her, there's no reason why not. So what does the Mishnah Shniya hold? Even a separate residence, she's not, because we have a new issue. It may be a defective marriage. She may have a physical defect. So if that's the case, being in a separate residence is not going to help you. Yeah? So according to Rav Shmuel Bar Yehuda, it's very good. Initially, why can't she eat Truma? Even though on a Torah level it's Kinyan Kaspo, the concern is because she's living in her parents' house, she may share it with her family. After 12 months she moves out, it's not a problem. She's not going to share it. But now, after 12 months, what the Mishnah Shniya says, the second Mishnah says, but there's new concern we just thought of. If she has some kind of physical defect, then even you can wait 20 years, right? There's no way. So she was never married to him, therefore we don't allow it. Elo, Rav Shmuel Bar Yehuda. But according to Shmuel Bar Yehuda said initially, why can't she eat immediately? Because of Simpon, right? Right? And we said, why later can't she? Because she checks her out. So now how do we understand Mishnah Shniya? So after 12 months, why don't we allow her to eat Truma? Even according to Mishnah Shniya. Elder Rav Shmuel Bar Yehuda Kamaisa Mishum Simpon. Basraisa Mishum Simpon. My Bedayu. Yeah, so what's the difference between the two of them? Initially, why don't we allow a woman to eat Truma immediately after she gets married? If Torah says she can. She may have a defect, so she's not Kinyan Kaspo. And therefore, after 12 months, so now after 12 months, why can't she eat? So we said the difference is, what about if she's checked out? If 12 months come, the man checks her out because he's ready to get married. For some reason, it got delayed. Initially, they would get married, so therefore he had a doctor checked her out, a family checked her out, so therefore she should be able to eat, right? Right? Marsov b'dikas chutz shmo b'diko. Marsov b'dikas chutz lo shmo b'diko. What's this? Marsov a mishnah shon b'dikas chutz shebotka biyad krovosov. Hear what's going on? Initially, no, the family checked her out. It wasn't first hand. He relied on what his mother said, what his aunt said, what his sister said.
He didn't check it carefully. He's going to check.
He's going to check. His standard of checking is not the checker. Give you an example. Shut off the TV. Sees her firsthand. As a husband sees a wife, he says, you know something, I never counted on this.
She's got bad breath. But don't they check out the
But again, we're not saying that she's not checked out.
What
His standard is a different standard.
You're trying to live with her the rest of your life. You're going to be more discerning.
But it's impossible for him to check it out before the wedding.
That's why you don't let her eat the...
That's why you don't let eat truma for that reason.
They understood all that.
Originally, b'dikas chutz is enough. The family is enough.
Right.
But when they saw there was a problem later, they say, you know something? We can't rely on the family.
You had a few problems and you learned. They learned. They were smart.
Exactly. They must have plenty of issues afterwards. So he said, send her to the dentist.
Here's so what the dental bills were going to be. He said, not for me.
Okay. Always a little humor here. Okay. Always, as the woman, always at our expense. Okay.
Good thing they don't listen to
Hamagdish Maisi de Ishto. A person consecrates the earnings of his wife. This has to do with the Gemara we think during Kedushin. I mean, she hasn't even earned it yet. Could you consecrate something that hasn't yet been earned? Okay? Hamagdish Maisi de Ishto Reuzu Osa Vocheles. She earns what she needs. Moser. Vocheles hamoser. Osa vocheles hamoser. You know, a wife only has to give her earnings, which only into a perm, but let's say she earns extra.
Right.
That she can take for herself.
Right.
Okay? One second. Remeir Omer Hegdish. Remeir says, no, it's consecrated. It's consecrated. Remeir holds on to Makdav Shlomo Olam. That's the reason. You got it? Remeir says it's consecrated. When she earns those earnings, the earnings are consecrated. So if that's the case, she can take it for herself. So good. So that's to say. Tanakama holds Eno Makdav Shlomo Olam. So that he consecrated the earnings of his wife means nothing.
Right.
But if she, no, Remeir says no, it is something. It is. Rabbi Yochsad Omer Chulin. It's Chulin. Okay? Meir Omer, so yeah. Okay, let's see. Omer Afu, now let's understand something. Could a husband say to a wife, I'm not supporting you and I'm taking your earnings? Could he say such a thing to his wife? The reason why she gives her the earnings, because we had the Gemara earlier, because of course animosity. Sure, you're putting the money in your bank and you want me to cover your expenses. Therefore, the earnings are in place of what? Of the support. So the Gemara asks, if you're of the opinion that a husband cannot say to a wife, I'm not going to feed you, but I want your earnings. There's no such thing. So how does he consecrate her earnings? That means, so he has to feed her.
Right.
But let's say he's not going to feed her. Then he can't consecrate it. So the Gemara says, Omer Afuna, Omer Rav. What about if the wife says, listen, wife is an executive. She says, you know something? What you're going to feed me, it's not worth my while. You keep your money, and I'll keep my own earnings. Could a wife say that to a husband?
Yes.
No, there's discussion here. Omer Afuna, Omer Rav. I don't want your support, and I'm not working. I want to take it easy. No, I have a nest egg for my father. I don't have to work. So that we have a problem. So if that's the case, Rega, right? So the question is, Rega, so how could he be magdish it? If a woman could always say that, so wait a second, ksovar, if you kitkinu rabbanim mizoni, iker u'masu yudeh mishameva, right? What's the reason? You have to support your wife, And why does she have to give you the earnings? Because it causes animosity. So therefore, if that's the case, she could say, right, if the cause is animosity, I don't want your support, I'll keep my own earnings. Correct? We want you to support your wife, unrelated to anything. You don't have to be compensated, but if she's going to put the money in her pocket, what's going to be? It'll cause animosity. So therefore, for that reason, she has a right to say that to the husband. Right? Really, why do we want her to be supported? That's in her interest. She says, I'm not interested. If we're only doing it in her interest, and the only reason why she has to give her earnings is because we don't want a problem to create, he says, I'm not interested in your earnings. I don't want your support. Meisvei, tiknu mizonos tachs masiyodeo. It says, no, it's an exchange. It's an exchange. It's the other way. It's not mizonos. It's because he takes her earnings. That's why he has to feed her. It's the other way. The reason why she gives the earnings is because he supports her, right? Because he supports you, therefore the wife has to give her earnings to the husband, because otherwise it will create animosity. We'll bring a proof. A person who consecrates the earnings of his wife, it says she still continue eating. My love. So what are we speaking? Bidizonos. It's speaking where she's being supported. So wait a second. So what do you see from that? She's being supported. So therefore what? That's the reason why it's not consecrated. Lo b'shein nizonos. Yeah. We say lema messiah. We're going to bring a proof. We're going to bring a proof that what? That the earnings, he has an obligation to feed her. And he gets the earnings because he's supporting her. It says, Hamagdish ishto harehi osavo chelis. No, she eats. She earns and she eats. What does that mean? Sheishtol nechosim vakesh lezona va'afil hochnan eimase debrishusa lakdishan. No. He has no right to consecrate her earnings. No, Rashi says no. Ma'ila bin zon sheishlo nechosim vakesh lezona. He has means and he wants to feed her, and it says eimase debrishusa lakdishan. Still not. Despite the fact that he has the ability to feed her, we say his act of consecration is nothing. Here? But we're speaking. But we're not holding there. No. It was saying. It says tiknu masida tachs mizonos. We're saying why does she have to give her earnings? Because she's feeding her. Let's say the husband doesn't have the means to feed her. Right then, there's no question she keeps. So we says, what are we speaking about? So if you're of the opinion that a wife could say, keep your support, I'm not interested. I'm keeping my earnings. So seemingly the Mishnah we have a proof from the Mishnah, because the Mishnah says that even though he has the means to support when he consecrates his wife's earnings, they're not consecrated. Why not? Because the answer is it's not his. It's only his if she wants to be supported. It was speaking of a case, she told him I'm not interested. But if she can never tell him I'm not interested, then her earnings should be consecrated. But it says they're not. So evidently we're speaking about that that she could say it to him. My love, binizonos, that he has the ability to support her, and she chooses to say, it was clear he doesn't have the means to support her. So if he doesn't have the means to support her, of course he can't take her earnings, right? Because what is she going to live on? That's the reason why it's not. So what's the chiddush? You have to tell me a chiddush. You know something? The man can't have the cake and eat it. I'll take your earnings, I'm not going to feed you. Doesn't make sense. If even according to the opinion that a master could say to his slave, I want you to work for me, I will not feed you. I will not feed you. Hani mili be'evet Kanani. You hear this? That's by a Canaanite slave. Canaanite slave's a chattel. Because you don't have to treat them like you treat yourself. Aval evet ivri. D'chsiv be'imoch lo. Right, a Jewish slave. He says to the Jewish slave, you know something? I'm taking all your earnings. You go fend for yourself. There's no such thing. Because the Torah says, imoch. You have to treat him no less than yourself. So therefore you can't take his earnings and you say you're on your own. You can't say that. So wife, if he's not feeding her, is there reason and consideration you should be able to take her earnings? So what's the chiddush of the Mishnah? It's coming to the chiddushes in the Sefer, what it includes. Moser. What about the additional? You got it? Let's say he wants to get, she makes a fortune. He wants the additional. So she has enough. He's not going to take all her earnings. Maybe that should be consecrated, right? No, the answer is he doesn't feed her, he takes nothing. He gets nothing of her earnings. If he feeds her, then he gets the earnings. If he doesn't feed her, then he gets nothing. No, excuse me. He doesn't have the means. But he doesn't have the means, but how much should she take? She should take enough that's for herself, but the additional we should give to the husband. The answer is, we don't. Rameir Omer Hegdish. Her earnings are consecrated. What are they all? Rish Lakish says the reason rationale Rameir, the reason why it's consecrated, not because the person can consecrate something that doesn't exist. You know what? They didn't consecrate the earning. He consecrated our hands. Your hands are consecrated for their earnings. You got it? I'll give you an example. This you'll understand. I have a tree. The tree has, let's say, a 10-year lifespan. I said, I'm selling you an interest in the tree for the next 5 yields. Am I selling you something that doesn't exist? No. You're a partner in the tree for 5 yields, for the next 5 yields. What about if I sell you? I'm selling you the next 5 harvests, yields of the tree. Then you're selling something that doesn't exist. One, I'm selling you an interest in the tree for the yields. So the same thing. He's consecrating our hands for the earnings. So the hands that will produce the earnings, those earnings are consecrated. Right? If you consecrate a tree. Let's say I consecrate a tree. The produce that grows on the tree is what? It's hegdish. Why is it hegdish? Because it's growing from a hegdish tree. So if the hands are consecrated for their earnings. So these hands, any earnings they earn, are consecrated earnings. So therefore, Rameir has nothing to do with other makdish davish lo b'olam. It's not because he's consecrated something that doesn't exist. Okay? But he actually say that. If a person, usually when a person makes a statement, he doesn't speak nonsense. That means we have to give some semblance of value to what he said. It's it's as if he's articulated that way. To be continued. Okay.